The following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
I'm ready, bro?
Yep.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Virtuosos podcast. I'm your host, Jules Houston.
Damon Crennan, Strip Club University.
And Damien Jolly.
All right, guys. Sorry about that intro. A little bit behind on time, but to start off, we are a mainly movie, TV show podcast. That's really what we center around. And this is huge news for us because the writer's strike is somewhat, sort of over. Now, what that means is it was a tentative agreement. Damien's going to give us some more details about that.
So the studio and the writers have reached a deal, as Jules said, it's a tentative agreement. The strike was going on for 146 days before they finally decided to end the thing. They went on negotiations for 5 straight days, and the Writers Guild was finally able to secure concessions. Basically, just saying that our AI can't encroach on writers' credits and compensation, which is a big thing. I know AI has been a huge part of people writing and ideas the last couple of years, as well as streaming content. Actors and writers were getting basically no residuals for streaming content whatsoever. I read an article the other day about how Suits is like the most watched show in the world now on Netflix.
Suits, yeah.
And nobody's getting credit for that because there's no residuals for the actors or the writers. So it's cool to see that they finally reached this. I'm hoping this means that it is going to be the end of the writer's strike because now we can really move forward with all the content going on because a lot of stuff got delayed.
Yeah.
We were supposed to get a lot of stuff at the end of this year. Now it's all going to move into the end of next year, basically, but it's exciting to see.
Yeah. Speaking of Suits, I'm actually currently watching it right now. It's a solid show. It's not that great. I could tell it's gonna probably start picking up because I'm only in season 5 out of 9 seasons. I got a couple of things spoiled for me. Like I know it's a spinoff show. I know for sure that one of the actors is not in season 8. He's huge for the show, but he's not in season 8 at all. Yeah. So clearly something's gonna happen with him. But so far, it just seems like we do have to hash on old shows and stuff like that, and it does suck because there is some new shows or movies even that I was excited about. But the deal for them is definitely something that they said that they worked hard for. They wanted this deal, they got the deal they wanted. Now we got to focus on the actors actually getting their side.
And it seems like it'll actually, if they vote. So I guess apparently what happens next is that the Writers Guild set to vote on it this Tuesday. I think it just happened then, so it would have been 2 days ago because this article, or maybe that's upcoming Tuesday, that says that they have to approve it, and then after that, the 11,000 or so writers have to vote to ratify the deal. And if it is done, they can return to work pretty much as soon as possible. I know HBO's CEO is like the first one to come out and talk about it. They already want to start resuming writing on their big shows: White Lotus season 3, The Last of Us season 2, and I want to say Euphoria season 3. So HBO seems like they believe this is going to be approved as a contract and on the deal, and we'll just see what happens. Hopefully that's the case.
So writer's strike's sake, for things that was canceled, it didn't hurt us completely because it only was like a month and a half, I want to say. For us, mainly for like the stuff that was getting canceled, like nothing was really pushed back too far that we were like looking forward to like actually get out. Yeah. But now at the end of the year, it's kind of like set in stone. Nothing's really gonna be moved. Nothing's gonna get moved up. Everything just got moved back. So as of right now, The Creator comes out today. Yeah. So that's a movie that we were looking forward to. Thankfully, that did not get pushed back. That's another while. I feel like, Five Nights at Freddy?
I think the next one's Killers of the Flower Moon. That's
Killers of the Flower Moon before.
That's October 20th. Five Nights at Freddy's the 28th. Napoleon's on Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. I think another movie I wanted to see was I do want to see the new Exorcist movie. I know we're not really big scary movie people here, but I am. And that comes out October 6th. I'll probably be going to see that as well.
You got that, bro.
I know I got that. 100%.
Yeah, so there's definitely some good movies coming out to end the year. The Creator's probably the one I'm looking forward to right now, though. That comes out tonight. It's got all good reviews. It's a big sci-fi movie. We don't get a lot of sci-fi movies anymore. Mm-hmm. So
the problem is that they don't have the actors to do promotions.
Yeah, well,
that's why Dune got pushed back, which really sucked because I was looking forward to Dune 2.
Yeah.
And I think that was going to be the biggest movie of the year. I thought that was going to be great.
It was supposed to get 6 weeks in IMAX.
Yeah,
it was going to
extend it. Yeah, I'm pretty
sure. So now we got to get the actors thing on, which you'll get back almost right away.
If they're reaching with the Writers Guild. Yeah.
And your daytime stuff back right away because that's mainly writing. They don't have to pay the actors. But even those shows are going to struggle because they can't bring the actors won't go on because the actors are on strike. So they're going to have a hard time because the actors won't do it. Like they won't.
Yeah.
Because that's basically crossing the picket line for the actors.
Well, I saw, I know they said, a big thing, House of the Dragon Season 2 finished filming, and that's supposed to come out next summer because that's in London. So it has nothing to do with what they're doing here. So basically, HBO basically gets away with one of its biggest shows getting ready to come out no matter what.
Yeah.
While we're waiting on a lot of other stuff going on. So it's pretty interesting as well.
To backpack off that, that's not even the biggest news of the week. As much as we were anticipating that, somebody overtook Damon Crittenden as the biggest star in the NFL. Unfortunately, Taylor Swift is involved with the NFL now, and as big as that is, how do you feel about Taylor Swift being getting all these eyes, all these jersey sales? It's crazy how much business I guess she's brought into the NFL.
Well, I'll be honest, right? You gotta look at it from a business side. You know what I mean? Had this been last week, Colorado ain't had no losses yet. How much publicity was she, really had got with the Chiefs? And then if the NBA season was going on, you got LeBron, so it's tough. So right now they in a dead spot. Taylor Swift is gonna keep Bleacher Report and ESPN. They gonna keep them flowing until Colorado win again or LeBron come back.
Yeah, the way I look at it is, like you said, it's a business thing, and when you have somebody like Taylor Swift coming in, dating, or I guess supposedly dating one of the biggest stars of a championship team with Travis Kelce, one of the biggest podcast stars as Travis Kelce. He promoted this on his podcast, Pat McAfee, and post-game interviews everywhere. He talked about this woman, and now that they're a thing, it's crazy how much it actually is becoming to fruition. Now she's actually at the Chiefs game. She's actually
not even just at the Chiefs game. She's in his press box with his mom.
With his
Yeah,
people.
and they already one of the biggest teams.
To me, that's more important than anything. I can see if she was just in a press box. You know what I'm saying? But being in there with her family and obviously it's kind of weird that that Taylor Swift herself overtakes the sport.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's like Taylor Swift is like,
and then
it's like Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes touchdown all the way down there.
The Chiefs really blew out the Bears, and nobody talked about that.
cares
All they
about
talked about was the fact that Taylor Swift was at the game, and then she left with Travis Kelce. But this is definitely big for business. Kelce has roughly 300,000 new Instagram followers, a 400% increase in merchandise sales, and is now one of the NFL's top-selling jerseys after this Taylor Swift news came out. So, she's definitely... he was already a very popular player, obviously one of the best tight ends in the league, but this has done nothing but just
he's
grow
probably the most popular NFL player right now.
And maybe it's a good thing. It never hurts to have more people that watch football, you know? Obviously, if you're only watching football because your favorite artist dates a football player, that means it's a little weird, but, hey, you got to do what you got to do.
And it's crazy because they're the Chiefs. Everybody knows Patrick Mahomes, rather from his brother, his girlfriend, the Chiefs. They in the Super Bowl every year, and now you got Taylor Swift. Me being a Patriots fan, Gronk ain't never date nobody that cool. Where was Gronk's girlfriend?
And it's funny bringing up Gronk because even Belichick said something about it. Belichick was on the podcast.
Went out his bubble after a loss. I'm pretty sure it was after the Dolphins loss, right? It was last week. He said that that'd be one of the biggest catches of his career.
Yeah, it says, well, I would say that Travis Kelce has had a lot of big catches in his career, but that would be the biggest.
What? Why are you getting asked that?
So even Bill Belichick's talking about it, and they clearly made it an effort to get Travis Kelce the ball with her in the game.
Oh, they did.
He had 7 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown. They asked Patrick Mahomes about it after the game. Did you feel pressure to get Kelce a touchdown? So it's the biggest thing in the NFL right now.
Can you imagine how much crap he's getting in the locker room?
Oh, absolutely.
Look how you being weird.
Weird. And it's annoying. I saw the one meme I thought was really funny. It was a picture of Kelsey's mom. And it's Kelly's mom just won the trifecta of white parents, white moms, because it's 2 sons in the NFL and one of them's dating
Taylor Swift. No, seriously.
It's the
she's set
trifecta
for
of white
life.
moms in America.
Absolutely.
Is it good for the game?
It's good for entertainment. It's not. I don't think it matters for the game, only because with stuff like that, when you get I guess distractions more or less, this is always going to come up. And if the Chiefs ever start struggling, they're going to point to this. If the Chiefs ever start having a moment where Travis Kelce goes down with another injury, it's going to come down to this. He has a podcast he's making money off of. He does not need to play football, another down of football ever again. He just wants to. He doesn't need to. So if this causes Travis Kelce to steer away from his focus from the game and steer away to his personal life with the podcast, being with his brother, because his brother's almost retired.
Yeah,
his brother was this close to retiring, and the Eagles brought him back. So the fact that his brother be out the NFL, if they lose another Super Bowl, they just come off win another one. He is considered one of the greatest tight ends ever. personally, like, it's probably not good for you to be week 3. Hey, Taylor Swift waving in the box. Like, there's a game still going on behind you. You still need to watch and take in the game. As good as you are, you can always be better. So
no, for sure.
I don't think it's that good for them.
Yeah, I don't think it's that good either. And I'm not putting that much stock into how he was moving because I mean they literally turned the game off at halftime. Like it was the Bears. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? It was the Bears. Now a game like against the Bills. Bills fans Super Bowl every year
that's
against
what I'm
the
saying.
Chiefs.
Like, they got big games coming.
They got big games coming up. Like then that's when the focus needs to shift towards the football aspect. Mm-hmm. But right now it's week 3. They just came off a game against the Bears. I ain't gonna put that much stock into it, but
yeah, I'm definitely not knocking anybody about the Bears. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I say at the end of the day, like I say, if they were playing the Bills, if they were playing, a powerhouse team, and he was doing that, and the game's close. Like I said, I was working during that game and it got shut off at halftime. I mean, or not even, or right before halftime, they completely cut it off. I had to watch Arizona play Dallas on every TV.
Yeah.
So I mean,
very bad 4:00 slot.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just whatever. I don't think it's bad for the game. I don't think it's good for the game. It's just one of those things. When you're a big celebrity and you date another, you date the biggest celebrity. It's just how it is. 'Cause it's the same thing in basketball.
Yeah, that's true.
These NBA players date the Kardashians or they date these big Hollywood actresses and they're courtside.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I had to break up with Jenna Ortega, bro.
All right, next topic.
As much as Taylor Swift did overshadow the NFL, before we got to all the wave in and all the fun, the Dolphins were dropping touchdown after touchdown, and I was on break and I remember looking at the score and I'm pretty sure it was like 49-13, and I'm like, man, this game is over. And then I just checked on the computer at work. I'm like, 70 points is insane. And then you think no field goals attempted. Literally, I'm talking big play after big play. Like every play was huge. I'm talking like 5-10 yards of separation between the Dolphins touchdown score and the next Broncos player. So with that being said, Damien, this is your team, 3-0 start, 70 points. Like, how crazy was that watching that live?
Yeah. So once again, I was at work and I was watching this live as it happened, and I didn't expect 70. Nobody can expect their team to drop 70 in the NFL. No. But I knew this game was going to be a blowout from the first play. We ran the first play of the game 6 yards. Second play of the game, 56-yard touchdown to Tyreek Hill. Yeah. It was very clear what was going to happen with the Broncos as soon as this game started. They wanted Pat Surtain manned up with Tyreek Hill to start the game. And Tyreek Hill had 5 catches for 99 yards and a touchdown in man coverage. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they do that to any team. Pat Surtain is a top corner, and I respect that. That's just a dumb game plan, no matter who you are. Tua started the game 16 for 16, threw no incompletions until the second half. Mm-hmm. But the run game was the big factor. Tua, as good of a game as he did have, the run game was unbelievable. Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert had 4 touchdowns, I want to say, each.
Yeah,
and then Devon Achane had over 220 yards. It says on here 203, but I could have swore they both scored 4 touchdowns, so I don't know why it says.
I know Achane for sure scored 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think Mostert did too. I'm pretty sure they tied it. And it was, that's 28-28. Yeah, no. Oh, Devon Achane did have 4. He had 2 rushing, 2 receiving.
Yeah.
That's why it's not showing it. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, and that was a breakout game for him. That was basically his debut. He played against the Patriots. He had like 1 carry. But, he got the workhorse role in that one. He had 18 carries and showed what he could do. Yeah. I mean, his burst is unbelievable. This is an unbelievably fast football team. Yeah,
that's actually, it's like a Madden-esque team. Like, you building that team with like a bunch of 70, 75 overall players that have 97 speed, and you can just hit them home run plays every time. But unfortunately for us, they're actually good football players that understand their role and they understand the fact that they're there. Even if Devon Achane doesn't repeat this performance ever again in his career, this is one of the biggest games ever by a rookie. Mm-hmm. There's nobody that can take that away from him. Mm-hmm. He had the best debut probably I've ever seen in general. So hats off to Devon Achane, who was considered very small, had to go to the right system, had to go to the right scheme or whatever, because he is a smaller running back. He's not going to be able to workhorse and have 20 carries. Guess what? He had 18 carries. He had over 25 touches. He is going to be a player that is going to last a while in the NFL, at least because the fact that he is in a situation where he does not need to actually do this every game.
Yeah, and it was just like, like I said, it was just a complete domination all around. Like I said, our offensive line has looked insane. We got Teron Armstead back, and it looked 10 times better with Armstead than it already did. And it's just a testament to, like I said, Mike McDaniel. I mean, a lot of people said last year, his system got figured out towards the end of the year last year. Mm-hmm. And everybody was like, well, can he adjust? And you look at us now, where last year we were not a very good running team. We didn't run the ball a lot, and it was just something that we struggled with. And now you see this year, we're playing as much complementary football as you could possibly get. Ran the ball well the last 2 weeks. Tua is playing out of his mind, and it's just still crazy to me that people still want to discredit this team regardless. I get it's a Broncos team or whatever. I don't see anybody scoring 70 anywhere else.
Yeah, not anytime this season. I feel like at
so
least.
Regardless of what you want to say. I know, this week is obviously a bigger week. We play the Bills. That's the big challenge, so that's what everybody's looking forward to. The Bills just decimated the Commanders.
Yeah.
Especially on their defense, so it's basically you're doing top offense versus top defense.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as cool as 70 was, beating the Bills is more important.
Yeah.
This is a team that is usually a top 2 seed in the AFC, top 3.
Yeah.
So, to show that we're the real deal and we're not the same Dolphins team that falls apart after a hot start. Last year we started 3-0.
Yeah.
And fell apart. So that'll be big for us.
Mm-hmm. So, Damon, you got to play this 70-point scoring team one more time this season, but you guys did get your first win. How's it feel to know that y'all stopped this team very, very, very good compared to the other 2 games that they played? I mean, only a few teams that can hold Tyreek Hill under 50 yards, contain, I guess, Tua from throwing these crazy across the middle and outside the number throws that he has been making all year, even last year. But for you, how does that make you feel to know that y'all actually could stop this team?
Listen, man, this is why I brought the shades, all right? This is why I brought the shades. Because it's very rare we're going to have these segments, man. We talking about the Patriots won a game. So that's what I'm going to say, man. Belichick, coach teams, we're going to stop your best player. You're going to have to beat us another way. Raheem Mostert had 150 against us.
Yeah, 120.
120. He had a crazy game. He had basically the dagger run at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. So we contained Tyreek Hill. I think Jalen Waddle played. I think
he had 90 yards.
He had 90 yards. Yeah. So, you're not going to be able to stop both guys. And they didn't even have Jalen Waddle this week or this past week against the Dolphins. So, plus we have the players, the scheme of things. Patrick Surtain's a great player, but, come on, he can't do everything.
Yeah, you're asking him to do
no help. Him versus Tyreek Hill, come on now, that's not going to work. So, we defense has been playing great all year. We already knew the defense was going to be playing good. Jets and Patriots, I commend you if you can watch a full game of them because last year,
so heavy.
Last year we went off a punt return. I think it was 3-3 before that punt return.
Yeah.
This year, I think it was 2 offensive touchdownes. Our leading receiver was our 3rd tight end. You talking about getting 70 points? I'd be glad we get a 70-yard receiver at this rate. That's what we on.
You got Pharaoh Brown, bro.
Come on, bro. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just. I don't want to be we happy we stopped Tyreek Hill because we still lost at the end of the day. We still got to play the Bills. We still got to play them again. We still got to play the Cowboys this coming week. So, I know our defense is great.
Arizona, so,
Yeah, anything can happen.
Bro. But then again, it's we almost beat the Eagles. We almost beat the Dolphins. So, it's then, you know what I mean? So, I don't want to sit here and give more victories out, but we just got to keep going defensively. Our offense is what the issue is, but we're not going to be able to win a shootout against the Dolphins.
Yeah. That's understandable. To move off, it was a crazy sports week in general because just to get off of the fact that Taylor Swift got 70 points, you had I guess, solid few minutes of Monday Night Football. It's been a very, very bad Monday Night Football run to start the year for the most part. But literally yesterday, Damon Lillard, big one of the biggest trades, I would say, a lot of moving pieces. In the last 5 years, we haven't seen a deal like this. I think the last deal that actually shocked the NBA that was this was the Paul George deal to LA because it literally changed the landscape. 2 different teams, and Damon Lillard was a literal piece of that. He literally ended the Thunder's run. Mm-hmm. He ended Russell Westbrook's 9-year Thunder career. Paul George short stint MVP. You know what I'm saying? But to look at Damian Lillard 5 years later, maybe or 4 years later, he is on the move, going to the Milwaukee Bucks. How do we feel about that deal? For me, realistically, I don't think anybody can beat them in the East. I'll be 100% honest. Crazy. I don't think anybody can beat them.
I just don't think to me, they didn't give up enough to get Damian Lillard back. That is unbelievable. I think Portland did this out of spite.
Yeah,
Portland could have got a better deal anywhere else. I'm bringing up the stuff right here. The Bucks only got Lillard back, and they gave up Drew Holiday, who was going to get moved because they already got young guards in Portland. You got 1 first-round pick and 2 first-round pick swaps.
Yeah,
and that's all you got.
But they lacked
and
leverage.
You gave up Grayson Allen,
badly.
I guess.
They lacked leverage. He wanted to leave. He gave him a deadline. And when you give somebody a deadline like that, like you could tell how serious somebody is. Like hardest situation, they feel like it's patchable. They're not going to move him. Damian Lillard, that man was not going to show up to training camp. And he said he was not going anywhere besides Miami. Obviously, that's like I feel like every time a player says he want to go to a certain place, he gets straight to a whole better situation. I feel like it happens every single time. Yep. So the fact that this deal is so is crazy. I mean, Lillard is on the move, yes, but it's a lot. Drew Holiday's on the move. DeAndre Ayton's on the move. Yusuf Nurkic's on the move. Grayson Allen's on the move. These were all, I should say, huge pieces of their former teams, because DeAndre Ayton, he had the Valley Oop. Grayson Allen hit huge shots for the Bucks when they were in the finals. Yusuf Nurkic had 20 games when Lillard was out. So there's plenty of people that in this trade that were actually good pieces, and they're all getting moved around. So it literally changes the whole landscape in the NBA. So for you, Damon, as you know, reigning 37-win team, back-to-back years, Pelicans, what is the odds that you feel like now that the West, I guess, is not weaker in the terms that, like, all right, you got a team that was competing probably for a 9 or 10 seed this year. Out of that race, you get the Pelicans bumping up. You know, a lot of teams coming down because they lost key pieces. What does that mean for the Pelicans with Damon Lillard on the way out?
Well, I can't put too much stock into it because, like I said, I think I said this yesterday when we was in the party. I'm like, yo, James Harden is still need to be moved. You got, I think, in my opinion, Embiid is going to request out. They're not going to trade him to the Eastern Conference team. So the West could completely shake back up in another year. So
yeah, I think
you got. I mean, every year, you know, you look at the past 5 years, like Kawhi got moved, AD got moved. These teams, these players force out to these certain destinations, and they end up not going there. So I mean, as long as we stay healthy, they got to see us. I think the Suns is the ones that really, I don't want to say benefited the most out of that trade, but you know, we question, you know, how their depth gonna look. You know, they got Eric Gordon, Bobo, and like I forgot the other bench player, but like, you know, now they got Nazir Little, Grayson Allen, like they got some pieces now on their bench. Like now they're becoming a competent team. So I think they definitely got a better haul for that trade as opposed to Portland. I think Portland, you know, you had Scoot Henderson. You know, you can't please Damian Lillard. Like Scoot Henderson is on the board, 3rd pick. You have to take him. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So you had to take Scoot. It's gonna make Dame mad. You had to go ahead and just trade Dame. But yeah, I think the Pelicans definitely, they gotta see us, bro. They gotta see us. You know, Zion doing 360 dunks on them. They gotta stop us. So you know, when we healthy, they gotta see us. That's all I'm gonna say. You know? And Portland, I think Drew Holiday probably gets moved to the East. I'm not worried about Portland. I'm not worried about
Holiday
Phoenix.
to the Thunder, man.
Yeah.
I ain't worried about the Thunder either. So they gotta see us.
They gotta see you.
They gotta see us. Healthy at least.
So Damien, same for you. You know, you guys were a playing team. You know, you guys made some noise. Almost made the playoffs. Actually had a really, really solid team. I would say you guys are a piece away. What's the odds you think that you guys trade for Drew Holiday?
I would like it. He's just going to be a depth piece. Obviously, he's going to come off the bench, but you can't beat a guy. I mean, he's a top defender, regardless, no matter what. He's a good playmaker, and it would just help. I mean, I know we drafted a point guard in the draft this year out of Kentucky. I forget the name. I did like him too. We get Chet back, which he's gonna be healthy. Which
I'm doing the hee to that mug. Hey, you're done. You're out of here. If I can get Drew Holiday on that Thunder team to close the game, you got SGA, Drew Holiday, Josh Giddey, Jalen Williams, and then Chet.
Yeah. Well, that's just the thing. Like I said, you can't beat that.
Every day,
and that's really where I feel like if we're a team that we're such a young team, but if we want to compete, we go out and get a vet like Drew Holiday who was available. Portland's already said they want to move him. I feel like you have to make a move for that. We have the value, we have the compensation to do it. It's like, I mean, we still have some of the most draft picks in the entire league. Yeah, you could easily make that deal work, and I think it would just help to get something like that. And I want to see what we look like once we're fully healthy. So Jalen Williams was a big surprise. I didn't think anybody expected him to be as good as he was last year as a rookie. Yeah, he was. He clearly showed how important he was to the Thunder. Like I said, you go out there, you run an SGA, Giddey, Dort, and then Jalen Williams and Chet. I mean, that's a great starting 5 right there. It's a young starting 5.
Very young.
I just want to say, David Griffin, we got picks too. You know, we got picks too.
Pretend you got him at least. Pretend you at least
stop pretending.
At least show your hand at least once. Like, all right, we could at least make something.
I get it. You got to factor a lot on Zion health, but like healthy or not, like, you know, Drew Holiday's available. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I definitely think that trading for Drew Holiday would really help us, and maybe we avoid the play-in. Maybe we can just scratch it out as like a 7th seed, 8th seed.
To move into our next segment, first time we're ever doing this. We're gonna do Wavelength. Now, Wavelength is a game that you play. Damon's gonna be the person that's on the recipient of this, so he is going to have a number in his head. He's not gonna tell us. We're gonna ask him 4 questions, 2 from me, 2 from Damien. If you guys are interested in stuff like this, let us know in the comments for TikTok. You know, it's gonna be a YouTube short, even Instagram, etc., stuff like that. This is something that we're trying to incorporate into the script because we want you guys to be involved. We want you guys to get involved and see how Damon, me, or even Damien think about the show's items, whatever the case may be, whatever we ask them, that is going to be a factor into this game. You just have to, I guess, know your people. You know, you got to know your co-hosts, I guess. To start off, Damon, do you have your number?
I have my number.
All right.
It's 1 through 10, right?
1 through 10.
Okay.
So, Damien, you can start off first.
Favorite Star Wars character?
No. It can't just be it has to be that number. It has to be that. It has to be that. This Star Wars character.
Yeah, not favorite. We did say that before. No favorite. Just give me a Star Wars character. Anybody.
I'm gonna go Grogu. Oh my god.
Okay.
All right. Give me a Lang variant. Locked in Lang, Bet Slip Lang, Lang the Conqueror, Mook Lang, Cheek for Cheek Lang.
Yeah, Cheek for Cheek Lang, for sure.
What version of Lang we dealing with here?
Lang during rec runs during a football game.
Oh my God. Hold on. In terms of entertainment, in terms of how good he is, because man, entertaining 11 out of 10.
Yo, he'll shoot a 72% shot. Bro, why did Russell Wilson pass that? Like, no, you're not skipping past that. Like,
yo.
Right, so your turn then.
All right. Yo. Player from the Pelicans all time.
It's like 6 of them.
It could be the old Hornets too, I guess.
Okay.
I just need a player.
I'm gonna go with Trey Murphy.
Trey, hold on. I think I was originally right. I know that Star Wars character though, so I had to lock in for a minute. All right, let's see. Give me a Marvel villain.
I'm gonna go Loki.
Ooh,
I had to spice the last two up.
No,
I was giving it up a little bit too much at the start.
I don't know.
I had to spice it up a little bit.
I'm trying to think because like
I feel like the first two.
If I start tearing up, you feel me? Like I'm kind of off. If I had to guess a number,
I feel like the first two gave me a high number.
You feel me? That's like I'm gonna go 8. I'm gonna go 8.
I'm thinking 6.
Answer was 9.
Wow, see, because Trey Murphy threw me off because I'm at 9, but I was like, nah, Trey Murphy kind of bumped me down to 8. So damn, man.
Because when I said Grogu my guy, I'm like, okay, hold on, I'm giving it too much.
Yeah, well, that's my guy. I'm like 9 for a fact. He's not gonna start with no 10. So
I feel like the last two answers made me bump down heavy because I was like, okay, like the first two, I was like, oh, that's a 10.
And he's like Loki. I'm like,
I'm
like, he a Black Widow fan.
Because he said Star Wars character, I almost said Anakin. I was like, rats.
You would have really gave it up.
Drop down, drop down a little bit. So
that's funny.
All right, that was Wavelength for you guys. Like, comment, subscribe to the live. You're in here right now. We're gonna move over to the NFL September recap. So far, it's been a rocky season. I feel like not too many good games. Maybe 1 or 2 good games so far. We start off with the good ones with the Lions and the Chiefs, but I really can't name another game that had me like on the edge of my seat. Kind of like, oh my god, like they called that penalty when it's like something like detrimental to the game. I guess that would change the course of what's going on. Something that was actually really really huge for what's going on. But I don't think that we're in a good spot.
Just
right
that
now.
Baltimore game.
Like that was the second best game of the year, and that's because there was so many mistakes. Like
that's just frustrating for me. Like
Baltimore got screwed.
Baltimore. Can you make a more besides I don't even know what other you could call.
Yeah.
Like basically no. Not only you just it's just so bad. Like it's just bad.
I thought for sure they were gonna call a PI on that play in overtime, and they just let it ride. I was like, all right, man, I guess. I mean,
I want to be a DB now.
You can get away with. If you can get away with it, you can get away with that as a DB.
Especially in that circumstance too. Like,
like, I can see if there's like any other point in the game.
You want to not call that in the middle of the field and it's first period or first quarter and it's a nothing thing and it's second down.
Yeah, like then it's whatever. But in overtime,
to not call that and then to look at it and not call it, like they all huddle up and have their conversation. They're like, no, it's good. Like,
I couldn't believe it, man.
Yeah, so far for the September recap, if I had to give you guys like, let's just say like, I'm not gonna say MVP because I'm not gonna gas Damon up. I'm not gonna say defense rookie of the year because I'm not gonna gas Damon up. If I had to pick one surprise, and it's not even like a good surprise. It's actually an awful surprise. I'm being 100% honest. I have lost almost all faith in the Jacksonville Jaguars, and because their offense is slow, it is boring. It is not good. I mean, you have Calvin Ridley now. Travis Etienne is one of the most explosive players of his draft class. Dude doesn't look explosive at all. Calvin Ridley doesn't look like that player in training camp or in preseason at all. We got Evan Ingram, one of the fast tight ends, barely getting used in the spots he needs to be used in. You got the defense that they had, and they were so good the last 6 weeks of the season. Horrible, giving up 37 to the Texans. I mean, come on. I mean, you had a good game against the Chiefs, and you come back and had that kind of performance against the Texans. Something needs to happen. I mean, Doug Peterson is a kind of coach that is fairly safe, slow pace. He needs that big running back, though. He needs that guy that's going to wear you out. So I feel like right now, the biggest letdown, biggest surprise easily is the Jacksonville Jaguars. 1 and 2, I mean, they look horrible. If you guys had to pick, though, a good surprise is actually on the good side of things. Like, if you had to pick a good surprise, Damon, who would you say?
I would say, well, it's tough because quarterbacks can kind of fizzle out. I will say, I think Anthony Richardson showed good promise. C.J. Stroud. This quarterback class, I believe it was 3 in the top
4, I want to say. I think the Colts were 4th.
Yeah, it was Bryce Young, Stroud, Blank. And
Anderson.
And then we compared the 2021 draft class. I think this draft class, even though it was like 3 in the top 5, I don't think it was any after that. But they look promising considering their teams are on like Texans, Colts, and Panthers. Like they're not going to win that many games, but they've showed upside. They've showed promise way more than Justin Fields, Zach Wilson. So I'll probably say the quarterback play this year's draft class, and another good one. I don't know. I guess guys that's being paid are playing. Like the pass rushers especially. You know, sometimes you see pass rushers get paid and they kind of fizzle out.
Yeah.
But
like Trey Hendrickson, he's been great.
He's been
really
a dominant game against the Rams.
He killed it. He was killing them.
What I've liked to see is that notion that small wide receivers can't be good in the NFL anymore.
Oh,
remember when Devontae Smith came out and it was, he's too skinny, he's too slender, he cannot play football. And now you see him, you see Tank Dell, you see Tutu Atwell, you see all these guys that are 5'8", 5'9", and they're putting up 100-yard receiving games. And they're showing that, you don't have to be some 6'4", 215-pound muscle, to play wide receiver. It's just not a thing.
Treylon Burks, who actually can't catch the ball.
Yeah, it's cool. I would say, in general, that's just cool to see for football that, these smaller guys who, before, back in the day, probably couldn't play wide receiver, but the game's changed so differently now. There's all this underneath stuff, and, these guys can get these crossers, and they could get these, these jet sweeps and these wraparounds and all that. So it's been really cool to see that, too.
Yeah, because I remember, I want to say Xavier Worthy from Texas. I think that's his name. He's super smart. They keep saying he's too small to play in the NFL. We watched Devontae Smith. They say he's not Devontae Smith. All right, well, I know he's better than Tank Dell for sure. I know he's a better prospect than Tank Dell. His stock is only going up now because they see these smaller guys that can actually play and burn people down the field. He had a huge catch against Alabama. So, I mean, if you look at it from the outside looking in, these smaller receivers, like you said, they're going up and up. And these bigger wide receivers like Treylon Burks, I remember vividly that this man was wearing like 5X gloves. And they were saying, like, dude can't catch without gloves. You just can't. How? Your hands are huge. They wrap around the ball like this. Like, how can't you catch?
Why can't you catch, right?
Yeah, like, you got these 6 foot, 225, outside the numbers kind of X wide receivers, and they catch 2 passes a game at most.
And that's the thing that's crazy because there's so many big wide receivers in the league, and like the ones that are great are great. You got DK and Mike Williams before he got hurt, and Keenan Allen, and all the these bigger wide receivers, and it's cool to have that. But if you're not like one of those top names, you're not doing anything.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of big wide receivers out there that are not touching the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean. Miami has. I don't think Miami has a wide receiver over 6 feet.
I wouldn't either.
So you know, what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure all of our wide receivers are 5'10" and under. You know, and we work out just fine. You don't need a jump ball wide receiver in today's game. You know what I'm saying? These small guys can go and get the jump balls if they have to.
That's why I think the Patriots. I think they need to re-sign N'Keal Harry.
Just to get some size out there.
You need run blockers.
Let's get a tight end to play on the outside.
You can go get Nelson Aguilar back, bro.
But to touch on something that happened in September, I mean, this is something that I've said for the last year and a half. The worst time to pay a running back was last year before it was this year. Because these running backs, if you think about it right now, some of the best running backs in the game, or the running backs are actually producing, Jerome Ford. You got Raheem Mostert, 31 years old. Who would have thought? Like it's as random as it gets. Running back's most volatile position in the NFL, not even close. You can get 3 running backs in there, rotate them through 20 carries, and you have a successful game plan. The only running back that played 100% of snaps this past week was Kyron Williams. Who would have thought before week 1, going to fantasy drafts, going into the season, the Rams, they got Cam Akers. He ended the season good last year. Dude's not on the team no more. This is only week 3, and Kyron Williams played 55 out of 55 snaps. Only running back to do that week 3. By far, even. Like, Christian McCaffrey didn't even play every down. Right. You got people like Derrick Henry who isn't even playing 50% of snaps. So, I think now is the worst time to sign a running back, and it kills Austin Eckler's argument, kills Saquon Barkley's deal, Josh Jacobs' deal, who's playing very, very bad, kills his deal. Like, all these guys who wanted a contract, it looks horrible for you now. Because if guys like Kyron Williams can play 100 snaps, and a guy like Jerome Ford can step into Nick Chubb's role and score 2 touchdowns, even though it wasn't efficient. 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns.
You're scoring.
He beat the Titans by himself.
And he catches the ball.
Exactly. So
Nick Chubb doesn't catch the ball.
Like the running back position, I feel very bad for them. The fullback position was like phased out for the right reasons. The running back position is phased out because nobody wants to pay nobody $11, $12, $13 million a year.
When you could draft a guy every 4 years.
Yeah, they can't even get 5 yards. They want to get 5 yards for carries, 20 touchdowns in a year, catch 70 passes out the backfield. Impossible. We'll just split it up between 3 guys.
And you look like the last 10 Super Bowl winners. Who was the highest paid running back out of the last 10 Super Bowl?
Out of the last 10.
I want to say it was, what's his name? C.J. Anderson.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
C.J. Anderson got paid.
Yeah, probably.
And I think that was when he was on the Rams. They didn't win it.
No. Was
it the Broncos?
I think he
went to the Rams after.
Yeah, he did go to the Rams. He started for the Rams that game.
Yeah.
Todd Gurley was just like on the sideline.
Todd Gurley had.
He had his jersey on. He was a fan.
I think he had 3, 4. Every time he got the ball, it was like I think he had like a 13-yard rush. My heart dropped. I'm like, whoa, it's 3-3. He had like a 13-yard rush. Ain't played the rest of the game. I'm like, woo.
That's my favorite player.
No, yeah.
Like my knee hurt. Good.
Damien Williams.
Damien Williams had one of the best
Super Bowl performances ever,
and never played another meaningful down of football.
Pretty sure he was on Atlanta this offseason and he got cut.
Yeah, played the most meaningful football ever and never played again. But to backpack off of that, I mean, we've seen some injuries to the running back position so far. The only team that's really reeling from a huge injury is the Jets, and we talked about it last night. Why are the Jets not trying to get a quarterback? They are 1-2. They looked very good against the Bills. Their defense looked good. How can you expect the defense to be good if you cannot put points on the board? Like
you can't keep them off the field.
You literally cannot. They have 2 touchdowns this year?
Yeah, but you know what I think it is it compounds too. So Zach Wilson's already a bad quarterback, but it's even worse when you make a bad quarterback play safe as it is. I mean, he's not even throwing the ball down the field. He doesn't even try to take chances. Like I could see if you were leaving
number 2 pick,
there,
by the way.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're making him play safe as it is, and obviously that's I don't think he has a strength other than like his arm strength, I guess. Mm-hmm. But like I said, it's already bad enough that he's a bad quarterback. But when you're going out there and you're playing the safest offense imaginable, Nathaniel Hackett was already a bad hire, and you hired him because you got Aaron Rodgers. And the offense has not changed since Aaron Rodgers got hurt. You're trying to make Zach Wilson do what Aaron Rodgers does, but he ain't even airing the ball out. So, you're wasting Garrett Wilson. Breece Hall just played the most snaps of his thing, but the offensive line ain't even good enough to block.
Yeah.
Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook have combined for, outside of that first game, 80 yards rushing between the two of them in the last 3 weeks. If that, maybe 100.
And Zach Wilson, he doesn't even take his checkdowns.
No,
you're not even giving your receivers a chance to go
to try to get something after the catch.
You have Garrett Wilson. I mean, he's one of the best. He had one of the best rookie seasons that we've seen in the last few years. I mean, how can you possibly not give him a chance to do anything?
And that's just the same with Obviously, I know we're talking about the Jets, but it's the same thing with like the Bears, though, man. I mean, like the Bears went out and got a number 1 wide receiver, and Justin Fields can't. I mean, I guess DJ Moore's done good the last couple weeks, but they're garbage time. It's not like the stats ain't meaningful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're losing still. I mean, it's regardless. I mean, Zach Wilson definitely. I probably still would take Justin Fields right now over Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's shown nothing at all,
for sure.
whatsoever. And I don't know how much longer they're going to hold out. You keep seeing the articles now where the Jets defense is losing hope in the locker room and they're losing
But
faith.
I would too. Like,
and it sucks because I like Saleh and I think Saleh's a good coach, but I think he's going to lose his job if he can't stop committing to Zach Wilson. He's going to lose his job.
Yeah, he should.
He's going to get scapegoated because you can't keep relying on this number 2 overall pick to be anything. You got to go make a move. I get they gave up draft picks to get Aaron Rodgers. Do it again.
Yeah.
You have to go out there and get somebody. If Josh Dobbs can win games with the roster he has in Arizona, and Zach Wilson can't win games with the roster he has in New York,
something has to get.
there's something going on.
in year 4, I think.
This is year 3. This is the option year for people. But quick, would you rather for you guys? Spontaneous. Cooper Rush or Zach Wilson? Who do you want to start the rest of the season?
Cooper Rush won a couple games for Dallas,
And they traded for Trey Lance, so it's not that they need 3 quarterbacks on the roster. So that's one thing.
I mean,
Detroit
Cooper
Lions have Teddy Bridgewater or Zach Wilson.
Teddy Bridgewater.
I mean,
Number
like-
50.
Like, come on now.
55.
Like Gardner Minshew or Zach Wilson.
Gardner Minshew.
Like, come on. Like, I don't get it. I don't see why a team that has this kind of, I mean, like Mike White or Zach Wilson, literally last year, and they chose
So my
Mike
thing
White.
is how much money is Zach Wilson getting paid? Like, is it a money thing?
I think he's only getting paid I think this is the year you only make like $3 million because your rookie year you make like 13. I think your second year you make like 7, and then this year you make 3, and that's why you play the best because you get paid the least.
And then you get the option.
And you get the option year that's only $1 million, but if you get your extension, it can factor into how
Okay,
much
yeah,
your
that's
signing
it. 'Cause,
bonus
I mean, I was gonna say if it's like a money thing and they can't move off of him, then maybe I get it. But I mean, Trey Lance got traded, and San Fran traded him with no issues. So.
Yeah. Even, I mean, like, it's something like Tyrod Taylor is even a candidate. Marcus Mariota, I mean, as bad as he was for the
There's
last year,
upgrades
I
over
would
Zach
definitely
Wilson.
go
Like I
get
said, Zach
Marcus.
Wilson's just showing nothing. Like, I feel like at this point, the Jets have to just let Zach Wilson go out there and at least try to throw the ball down the field. If you're not going to trade for somebody, stop playing that safe offense, man, where you're just handing the ball off and you're making him try to throw these 5-yard passes that he can't even hit the mark on.
You're trying to make him throw 5-yard outs and ins. It's like, bro, you have to have good zip on the ball, good timing. Dude does not have good timing. He has the worst touch in the NFL. Actually second to Justin Fields. He has like no.
His zip is literally throwing a bullet pass.
Yeah, he
there's
just
no
has to throw
touch
it as
on the
hard as he
ball.
possibly
So
can.
it's like that's why like at least let these dudes like run down the field, run a post, run a streak, do something because
do something cool.
like just air out the ball because watching. I mean, I haven't watched many Jets games outside of the Jets Bills game, obviously, but
It was a tough watch.
but it was a
horrible
tough
watch. I mean, it was like
Tough
it was like we was watching like rookie year Josh Allen versus peak Zach Wilson, and like that's one of the worst games I could possibly think of.
Yeah.
So that just shows you right there that we're the Jets are in a horrible spot. And like I said, their coach about to get fired. They have Nathaniel Hackett calling plays. They have a rookie wide receiver who's definitely frustrated. One of the most explosive running backs in the league. Can't even get him a 2-yard carry because they're so bad. You just stack
12 carries for 18 yards, and I get the Patriots have a good defense, but Mostert just ran for 120 on them.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like
And
if
Brees
you
Hall
don't have a threat.
and Brees Hall came and Brees Hall can't get more than 18 yards on
That's
12
sad.
carries. It's not on Brees Hall. That's on just their
all that
offense.
money into that offense, and like I know Aaron Rodgers. You know he's huge. He's a former MVP, and he was a big part of this team. You built the whole team around him. Zach Wilson, former number 2 overall quarterback, should be able to be plugged and played and win you at least 6-7 games.
Can't
Being
even
a
game.
former
He's a-
second.
I just looked it up. He's a cap hit of over $9 million.
Okay, yeah.
that's
So
so
I had it
His
back.
base salary for the year is $900,000. Then you got a $5.7 million bonus. Then there's a roster salary, whatever that is. But the cap it, so it's. I looked it up that like if they were to cut him, it would cost them $11 million.
Yes, it's not like they can
So
even get
that's
rid
why
of him.
we're committed to him because they don't want to take the hit.
Like, yo, we love you, bro. Any chance you can weigh that $11 million for us? Like, but that is a September recap for the most part. Not many good games, but the surprises and the Jets being one of the worst teams in the NFL. Nothing really is too surprising just yet. But to get into this last week, NFL Start of Week segment we've been doing for the last couple of weeks now. Damien, we can start it off with you. I feel like it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna say a player.
I mean, yeah, dude. Go ahead,
You
bro.
already know.
Go ahead, bro. Go say the animal itself, the dolphin. Like the city of Miami. I mean, y'all ain't take that many W's this week. I mean,
y'all would have got.
Y'all ain't get Damon
Lillard.
Lillard. So, I ain't shit really, but
I don't care about the Miami Heat, man.
nah, you have to know.
Nah, my start of the week is Mike McDaniel.
One of the best coaches in the league, bro.
This is honestly, it's unbelievable because this team 2 years ago under Brian Flores looks completely different now. Obviously, I get it's just to think that 2 years ago we weren't going to have Tua, we were going to trade him, we were going to get rid of him, and then it was, Tua or Brian Flores, we go out there, we get Mike McDaniel, he comes in, he changes the complete culture of the locker room. It's just been cool as hell to see how he's completely changed the way the Dolphins look and how they play.
For you, how would you determine the NFL starter week? Because it wasn't that many good performances, I would say, outside of the Dolphins game. And we don't want to give him too much credit.
Yeah,
we can't do that.
I had a good backup if I didn't want to say the Dolphins, but why wouldn't I?
I can't say Christian Gonzalez every week.
You
You're a
can't.
Browns fan. I was gonna say Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Like I watched the game. He's literally moving back and forth, causing teams to call timeout. We're like, yo, no, timeout, no, stand still. Like that's what all this is saying. Yeah, 2 tight ends following him. He's on defense. Like that's crazy. Browns defense look crazy. Like Myles Garrett been one of the best pass rushers, but like now he has help. So it shines more. I'll go with Myles Garrett.
All right, I wrote 5 dots. All right.
My fault about 2 years old.
5 dots. I don't know if you can see it or not. 5 dots. Now I'm gonna connect them, and y'all tell me what this means to y'all. And
I'm
scared.
Number 4. Number 4. You must have heard me. I shouldn't have to yell and scream and get like that every single week because you did your thing. I mean, from the first snap, I mean, the offense looked way better. It looked like it had a sense of urgency. It actually helped the defense actually be able to stop a team. I mean, we have 1 touchdown scoring us all year, and it's a 70-yard touchdown, and George Pickens over the middle. I mean, I'm not mad about that. I love what our defense is doing, but it can only be as good as Deshaun Watson is. If Deshaun Watson can go out there and compete and complete 70% of the passes, I mean, he's not throwing these insane passes now. He's not asked to do a whole lot. He just literally asks you to keep the offense on the field, have these 6-7 minute drives where the defense can recover and go out there and just do your best. I mean, like, we're not asking you to go win the game now. He didn't even go win the game. He just went out there, played well after a horrible game last week. I mean, horrible against the Steelers. Dude looked like a whole different quarterback. The offense looked like a whole different offense. I mean, we couldn't run the ball, and I knew we were going to be able to run the ball, and I was like, we got to win through number 4.
He hit a couple deep passes, man. I was like, yo, this is not the same quarterback.
It's not the same quarterback, and he got into his rhythm throughout the game. That's all I could ask for. That's all I could literally want.
I saw a highlight, though, when he threw that backwards pass. I know he was trying to throw it to the running back behind him.
It does look horrible.
When I saw that, I was like, damn, I thought y'all were losing because they didn't show the score. It just showed that. Like, they got to be losing. Like, that's a crazy play. And I turned it on. Y'all was killing the Titans.
It's 3rd and 18. We need a first down.
I could not believe that, but once I turned the game, I was like, oh, like they're killing the Titans. So I mean,
so from that NFL start of week, I ate some sour grapes this week. Very proud of Deshaun Watson. Very proud of the Browns being the best defense. I think now. I think the Patriots just might have edged us out. I could.
I'm pretty sure it's
not the Patriots. No. Who is it?
The Bills and
the Cowboys were ahead of us. And then, I think the Bills jumped us now. Because they
just had like a 9 turnover performance.
Had two very easy teams. like I can't like we had easy teams too, but like Commanders. I mean, like I had no faith in the Commanders going into that game. Everybody like they're 2-0. Like okay, I don't think I watched those games. I don't know if y'all know what you're talking about. Russell Wilson threw 50 touchdowns on them, so only couldn't match what the Bills do to them. But to get into the main focus, one of the biggest shows we were waiting for all year. We're Marvel fans, deep to the core. Watched everything. Marvel fanboys, as some would say. But Loki is coming out next week. We got a live react video for you guys coming up. Next week is going to be the pilot episode for episode 2. Season 2, I'm sorry. It's going to be huge. It's going to be everything that we want. We get to see Kang the Conqueror variant, which is Victor Timely. We get to see Loki, which is everybody's favorite, one of everybody's favorite shows. I mean, it's almost hands down at this point. One of the few shows that actually has implications to the entire universe. Like everything else is just to the character, to their origin story. Loki already has his origin laid out. He already has his path laid out for him. he actually is allowed to be in the spotlight because he has all this laid out for him. So I guess it's not a fair assessment to make him be the best character, but his show had literally every single thing, hit on every single mark. It's one of the few shows that they actually did well. Everything else is like probably like 8 or 7 out of 10. But to get into it, let's talk about some of our favorite moments from season 1.
So I got 3. I would probably say the first one is Loki watching his future play out. That's like from episode 1. You know, like this Loki is from the past, so this is from Avengers 1 Loki. So when they finally show him what happens to him, you know, all the stuff that he goes through from being on the planet with Thor and Ragnarok, and I think it's Dark World. I think Dark World happens after the first Avengers, all the way to his death. I mean, he literally watches Thanos kill him. Yeah. And you know, like this kind of like how it hits him, where he's like, damn, like he knows how he's going to die. You know what I'm saying? And now it's just all about changing. I would probably say that one's up there. My other 2 would be probably, I know we talked about it last night, the Timekeepers. Find out the Timekeepers were fake was obviously a big one because they played it up the whole season that the Timekeepers were going to be like this big reveal, and then you find out they're just robots. Yeah. That's a pretty big one because, you know, it's like, how do you even, who do you think could be next after that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's supposed to be the big twist. And then my 3rd would probably be when you get classic Loki in like the spandex suit and he creates like the fake Asgard. Yeah. When we're fighting against like that fog monster or whatever it is during like in that world between worlds or whatever. That'd probably be my top 3 moments for sure. There was a lot of memorable moments. Yeah. It was a lot of visual and I guess like dialogue moments that really had me like, oh, and this show is like really, really good. I could rewatch it anytime. It's the only Marvel show I feel like I actually rewatch. And it was actually like really funny too because I remember being so hyped when Jonathan Majors got cast as Kang the Conqueror because I'd seen him in Lovecraft Country. I'd seen him in some of the other things. And, you know, like, they make you wait till the very last episode, obviously, to see him. And that's another pretty big highlight, too, is he's only on screen for that one episode, but he really steals the show while he's on the screen as He Who Remains. So, for you, Damon, some favorite moments?
I will go with, I forgot his name, but the guy that...
Mobius?
No. Gray hair. It's like, he like, introduced Loki into the like, whole area.
Oh, Mobius.
That's Mobius, dude.
Oh, my bad. So when he died, quote unquote died, like in the whole room, like, you know, it was a sad scene. Zapped, I think, right? Yeah, he got zapped. Like, we didn't know that he could still like survive that. And like, you seen that like Loki be emotional. We're like, yo, Loki been dogging him basically this whole show, and like to see him actually show emotion, like, cause you gotta think Loki was defending his brother. Well, this is past Loki, so he didn't even do this. This is Loki right after the first Avengers movie, so he hasn't shown no emotion, none of that. That's really the first time we see this version of Loki show emotion. So that's probably my favorite scene, and it kind of changed his outlook on what was going on. Like, you know, he's battling, trying to, you know, he's still that Loki mischief. Damn, what word did I just say?
Mischief.
He mischievous.
You on your Chris last night? No. What did Chris say last night? He said, it was a crazy word. We was like, hold on. He started saying to stop. Like, no, I heard that.
I should have just did that. But, you know, he's still Loki at the end of the day. I kind of seen his mindset shift after that. So I'll say that's probably my favorite scene.
My favorite scene comes from episode 2, I want to say, when they went to that grocery store and they had all the variants. It was Sylvie. They didn't reveal Sylvie yet. And they had her going through all those people, and she was like taking over their body and whatnot. Thought that was the coolest thing ever. The setting in the grocery store, the flickering lights, and the fact that Mobius is in the other room with the other TVA members trying to get order restored because it's an apocalypse coming, basically. Like this,
it's like 2050. It's like a giant like hurricane or something. Yeah,
it's the end of their world, dude. When the ending happened and Sylvie pops up, she's about to go through the thing, and she has her I don't even know what they call that. Her dagger, yeah. And she's like holding it, and she turns around, takes off the hood. Oh, I was going crazy. She walks through, and Loki's looking back at Mobius. Mobius telling him to stop, and he's looking, and he goes through, and then the Loki green theme is playing. Oh my God! I mean, like, that was just like the perfect moment for that show, and it just shows that like this. We got to remember, this is the Loki, like you said, after Avengers movie. He doesn't know like what's like. He knows what is good and bad, but he still has to test the waters. And the fact that this woman is outshining him, stealing his moment. This is the one that they want, not me. They don't care about me. They care about her. I gotta figure out what's so good about her. So that was definitely one of my favorite moments.
Honestly, you know what? I forgot about a moment, and I'm gonna say scrap all the other ones because I'll tell you right now, the Kang the Conqueror reveal at the very, very, very end of episode 8.
Oh, when
they show you where he's going and he meets Mobius and he's talking to Mobius and Mobius doesn't know who the hell he is. He's like playing, and then he looks up and you see the statue of King the Conqueror. I was geeked when I saw that.
That's one of the only finale they did good. That was the only finale.
I honestly like scrap all the other favorite moments. 'Cause I forgot about that until I just thought about it. That was like that. That's the kind of hype that I want when a Marvel project ends. You know what I'm saying? I want to look forward to the future because Loki, you get the whole build up with the branches timelines and they kill He Remains. He Remains like tells you like, I've been called this many things. It's a whole big build up. Then when you see that he goes to a whole nother alternate reality and Kang has already controlled this reality, that's just such a good build up to a villain. That's like how they did Thanos when they were doing Thanos in the original, saga.
Just small little bits and pieces.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah. I don't need to see him, like you said, I'll do it myself, and the little snippets here and there. Guardians of the Galaxy was in it. Like, it's cool to build up to a villain like that, and that's the only time we get a build up to him. Though you get
no character in Marvel has the character development of Loki.
Nobody.
No,
it's
definitely
so far.
He definitely gets the
it's like
the
Thor's like right
have
there.
Journeys, but nobody has the journey, and that's a credit to two things: the recognizing that they have an amazing actor to play the character, and that's why he's such a good likable.
Yeah, it's hard
actor.
to get.
You have to
they killed him.
We should have not made him a bad guy. We got to figure out.
We made a mistake.
But then, like the amount of development, and then like you said, to take a character that's a earlier version and we lose all the interesting development that we got in the other movies. Now we have to do the development again in a completely different way. Like that scene on the train when they're like going to get to the city so they can get on the ship and get off. That scene on the train, like just the quality of like going from like the stuff with Sylvie when they're sitting down, then he's singing and he's
the singing part was very entertaining.
And then his physicality as a performer in the fight scenes is just so good. He's just so likable. They're so smart with this.
Yeah, another favorite moment of mine. I don't remember what episode it ended with, but I do remember. I think it was the moment where he got pruned or whatever from Sylvie. It was like I think it was the end of the episode, like the second to last episode or whatever. And they played "If You Love Me" by Brenda Lee. I thought it was over. I was like, "Did they kill Loki? Season over. I'm hurting. I thought they was gonna fall in love." I think their dynamic, I mean, Loki has a good dynamic with all the characters, but him and Sylvie's dynamic was really, really good for a short show that I was not sure we was going to get a season 2 or not. We didn't know until the end of the season.
They got a lot of bad hate for some reason. I know it's like, he's in love with his own self. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a very.
That's the whole point. Loki's all, he's into himself.
Like they say, he's a narcissist. He loves himself. So literally. I thought it was such a cool thing, like to see. Like I said, their chemistry is really, really super well. Good. The scene where, like I said, where they think that they're not gonna be able to make it to the ship, and they're sitting on the rock. And they're waiting for the world to end and all that. And they're telling each other about all
powerful.
that. Like they say, like it's a very moving scene, and like so. Like, that whole thing, like I said, they think they're about to die. Like, it's the end of the world. Like, there's nothing they can do to save themselves. And they were just going to spend the time together. And then, like, I don't... They got a lot of hate because, like I said, he kissed himself.
Yeah,
he kissed himself. It's a variant. It's a girl. Like, it's not the same thing.
I kiss myself. I would definitely kiss myself.
Like,
if I was allowed to kiss... I'm kissing myself. I love myself. I love me. What that mean?
I definitely
we can go cheek for cheek. But, so our one of the few things that is very key for the second season is that he's moving through time a little bit easier, but it seems like it's painful now. So it's kind of like the Into the Spider-Verse kind of thing where he's like glitching.
I don't even think he can control it.
Yeah, he can't control it. Yeah, so he's moving through time
through.
uncontrollably. So if you guys had to give out, I guess, a theory about this new season, what would it be?
You want to go first, or you want me to go?
I think you go first.
All right. So I got two. I think either Victor Timely will be announced as the original Kang because he has like Victor Timely, the time travel. Will this be the original Kang? He goes back in time, he goes forward in time or whatever. I know there's the whole council, so you got like the Pharaoh one and all that. But they never really talk about what timelines they're from. I would be surprised because both mine are about Kang. I'd say either that or that we get multiple variants of Kang in this season. I don't think Victor Timely's gonna be the only one. You have to start building up to this villain. Yeah. You have to do it, and you have to do it quickly. Because he only has one screen time so far, and it was an Ant-Man, and he got beat. So you have to do something to really put fear into people and make them like fear seeing King the Conqueror in future ones. So I think if it's not Victor Timely being announced as the original King, and he's the reason for all this, it's definitely going to be that we're going to deal with multiple Kang variants throughout it, because there's millions of them.
Yeah, that was going to be my theory. I also think the finale is going to have a big, like a huge post credit scene, something like that, and it kind of builds up towards the first Avengers movie. Because I mean, as of right now, like
there's no
Avengers,
build up.
like there's no build up. Our Avengers,
nothing.
our Avengers suck. We don't have no villain. Like, don't get me started on the Avengers again.
This our Team USA this past year. You know, world champions of what team? You know, like y'all ain't nothing. Y'all ain't do nothing.
And
y'all not fighting nobody. Y'all fighting in y'all city. You know what I'm saying? Y'all fighting in your house, something like that. Y'all not going nowhere.
And I said, I'm like, yo, because Kang.
Can y'all breathe in space? First of all, how many people can breathe in space that we got right now? Because we already down like some of the key pieces that was actually.
Well, I think that the Marvels is going to play a lot bigger into the cosmic thing.
Yeah,
we already have 3 of people that those 3 could handle space. I do think we'll get another kind of hero from that.
I want to say.
I think there's definitely gonna be somebody else important coming
from Eternals. When Harry Styles was playing him, I forgot his name.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Oh my goodness!
I cannot think of it. That's been a while since I've seen
it. Search it up real quick.
But what I was gonna say about Kang though, like his performance in Ant-Man, like we hype, like yo, he's dominant, like he's gonna go crazy. He doesn't go crazy. He doesn't.
He goes crazy up until the very end. Like the trailer shouldn't have been shown the way it did for Ant-Man because I think that really killed everybody's hype for it. Mm-hmm. You can't be like, oh, we both have to lose, and then think that okay, we're gonna lose Ant-Man until the Avengers movie.
Yeah,
and then he doesn't lose anyways. It is cool because like the movie is kind of leaves you as an open ending. I didn't take it as Kang was beaten at the end of Ant-Man because you when he leaves Ant-Man is very clearly so stressed out about Kang. You see the purple and green stuff everywhere when he leaves.
That's what I was about to say. The theory is better than the movie, and the reason I say that because
they think he ends up in a different timeline.
Yeah, they think he's in a different timeline, and I 100% believe that because you could tell that the camera work was different in the beginning. He's walking this way from the street instead he's walking this way away from the street,
and all the stuff he's seeing is
like that. I think
little details.
It was the same. He's seen the same family 3 times. Mm-hmm. It was I guess I would say a baby in a stroller. Seen a baby in a stroller 3 different times, but they were all behind him. They don't walk past him, but they're always behind him.
And then you got the kid with the backpack, and then you got the people and even the people in the store say something different to him.
Yeah, he actually calls him Ant-Man. He charges him. Yeah.
So there's a lot of different stuff that happens, and so like there's a big theory too. This is like the big one that I keep seeing is that people think that Loki is going to be the one that warns the Avengers about Kang, because as of right now only Ant-Man knows. But if Ant-Man's in another reality, maybe Loki's going to be the one that like tells Doctor Strange or whoever that. Yeah. By the end of this season, they'll be like, hey, listen, he's coming, and you guys got to do something about it. Mm-hmm. And that'll be kind of like, maybe that plays into what Damon said, where, that's the big build-up. Okay, hey, listen, you have another big bad coming in.
Is Doctor Strange in the right universe?
Or that's another good one. Yeah, I mean, after the end of the movie, I mean, or is he even in our universe anymore?
Remember, at
the end of his movie, he went with.
Plus, he's got the third eye and all that.
Doctor Strange, I feel like would not know anything that's going on, but 2 things. One, Eros is his name. Eros Starfox. He's the brother of Thanos. That's why I thought it was so big, because like he's the brother of Thanos. So I feel like he's gonna come in, but it's gonna be hard for him to trust him first, like he's the brother of Thanos. And second, my theory is that I think I'm branching off what you said. It's going to be multiple Kang variants, but I think we're gonna get a Kang variant for every single episode. And the reason I say that because I think that Loki is not gonna defeat a Kang variant until the end. But he's going to realize that his jumping through time is that he met all these different kings. And he doesn't realize he's meeting all these different kings probably until like episode 2, episode 3. So by the finale, he's going to be fighting King. He's going to end up in a different universe. And he's going to tell an Avenger that or try to find an Avenger that he knows is in New York, because that's the only place he really recognizes, because that's where he fought at. He's going to find either old Thor. I think we're going to see old Thor, or we're going to see somebody like that's in New York, and it's not going to be what he thinks it is, and he's gonna be trapped there because he finally defeated a Kang variant, and he's trapped there just like Ant-Man is trapped in his own universe now. He's completely separated from his reality, whatnot. I think we're actually gonna get Kang messing with time so much that he's separating the Avengers completely. All the not to say the side characters, but the main guys. Ant-Man, he's gone. He was in the Endgame. No, he's gone. Loki, he's one of the main pieces. Loki's gone. You got to take away some of the big pieces that actually could hurt him and mess up his way of messing with time. Because Ant-Man can go in the quantum realm. No, we can't have that. Mm-hmm. Loki jump through time. No, we can't have that. If you could control time or reality, we have to get rid of you. So I think that Loki is going to be able to warn somebody about Kang. I'm not sure who's going to be, but I feel he's going to warn somebody about Kang, and they're not going to know anything that's going on. Yeah, they're not going to know anything. That's when he's going to realize he is stuck in that timeline. And now I think that we're going to definitely get a season 3 of Loki, and the whole build-up is going to be that Kang can put you in any timeline he wants you to put you in. and he's gonna make you deal with whatever you got to deal with over there, and you're not gonna be able to come back unless all the Avengers come together and get all their heroes back together. Like I said, I don't know who he's gonna meet because you can do old Thor, but I feel like that's too easy.
Yep.
If you bring in a different character that maybe was positioned to be something, let's say he sees Captain America, but it's not Steve Rogers and it's not Sam Wilson. It's Bucky, Bucky's Captain America. He's talking like looking for Captain America, and they say, "Oh, he's in this building, or he's with the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D." And it's not Nick Fury, it's Maria Hill or something like that.
And I feel like Loki can get away with a lot of that stuff too, just because this is where you can see variants of different heroes, and if a show can get away with it, it's gonna be Loki, just because it's in all the different timeline stuff and all that. And there's even like stuff where I almost kind of wonder if like Loki will play into how you said. I mean, we know that this thing's coming where we're going to get all these big heroes, and it's not just the Avengers; it's the Fox heroes. You have Deadpool 3, which is going to tie in directly to the Avengers movie. They already announced that. That's how like the TVA is a part of that movie. Like that's already been announced, and the TVA obviously is a part of Loki. So will Loki season 2 play into that? Where does he cause more destruction instead of Loki helping anything? Does he just cause timelines to get screwed up even more? That's when the Fox characters do finally get brought in. You know what I'm saying? Do we get a reveal or something?
They said
like
we're
that?
getting like Wolverine variants.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's the whole point. Like,
and we're getting like different actors playing different Wolverine variants, and
like Secret Wars is supposed to be like the big one. Like
in Deadpool 3, like there's going to be different actors playing different versions of Wolverine.
Yeah, so Deadpool 3 is supposed to be like. I mean, that was like the big rumors forever with Deadpool 3 was that we're going to see all these different heroes from the Fox movies and all that, and that was going to be like the big build up. So. I mean, if that's going to be another reason where Loki... I mean, everybody thought Loki was going to cause more than what it did. I mean, yeah, it broke the timelines, but there was never really any big reveals from the Loki season 1 outside of Kang, Yeah. So, I mean, they could really do a lot with it. And it's just it's going to be interesting to see how long the season's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be another 6-episode season or if they'll expand on it or not.
Yeah. Another thing I was looking at, Ravonna Renslayer, the name just popped in my head. I forgot all about her arc. The fact that the TVA are just variants and they're cool being variants, I think it's finally going to get Loki's finally going to get that reaction out of them that they're not real and they're just put into place. They're pawns in a game. Only person that he told us was Mobius. Mobius doesn't know him anymore. Kang put him in a different timeline, whatever. Everything is all messed up. So we got Sylvie's whole thing where she's trying to get back to Loki, but she's in a different spot. Loki's in a different spot. Ravonna Renslayer went to go find out what her life was before, trying to figure out everything that was going on, why the TVA exists and whatnot. And the whole time TVA just got reset. Right. So there's so many like battling pieces. I know Ravonna Renslayer is connected to Kang as a love interest or whatnot. So I could see them possibly going that route, but for sure they have a lot of moving pieces. They got a lot of theories that could come out, and for sure I think her story is gonna be huge because Sylvie does not like her at all, and she was a target by it. So I'm pretty sure Sylvie targeted her.
I mean, in the comics, she is like Kang's girlfriend. Yeah. I mean, if she ends up finally joining up with Kang,
that's gonna be huge. That's what I'm saying. Like that's another side plot that we didn't touch on because the fact that TVA is just a set thing, they're not real people. They were taken out of their lives and put into this spot, and they don't really have a thinking, conscious that like life outside this exists. Like Mobius' love for jet skis, randomly. Like, why do you know that you like that? I don't know. I just do. And then like, you had a life before that. So I think that she's actually gonna tap into their life before that, and and obviously King, I feel like is gonna stop her from being able to tap into that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I just don't want this show to like base everything on theories. Like I want them to close some things up, wrap some things up, because we don't know we're gonna get a season 3, and how the MCU is like, they don't have the luxury of like, oh, okay, well, season 3 of Loki, they might have this and that, so we're gonna answer that next season. Like, no, you're gonna have to wrap some things up this season as well. And the 6 episodes flew, like I rewatched it, flew by quick, but you can't just base everything off of theories and move on to, we're going to get a Loki season 3 automatically. Like, we don't know what's going to happen.
We really don't know. Sure. Yeah.
Really don't.
I think a big thing that I think kind of played off what Jules did where, like, Kang controls time is instead of Kang doing that with all the different Avengers, I wonder if Loki, since he's in the TVA, can he affect the timelines himself? Can he rebuild the sacred timeline, in a way where instead of warning the heroes, can he place heroes in certain timelines with each other and be like, hey, listen, Kang is coming. We need to put all these heroes together to help instead of just being like, oh no, he's coming, figure it out yourselves. Yeah. Loki's in the TVA, and I mean, obviously the whole thing's gonna be about him figuring out the time travel and the reality jumping and all that. But can he rebuild the sacred timeline? Because that's the big thing that the season 1 ended with. Was the sacred timeline's broken, it's branched out and all that. I'm not sure he could fix it by himself, but can he influence it enough to set up something for the future? You know?
And that Loki has, outside of Thor, and Thor was barely his ally. Like, he has no allies if he comes back to Earth.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like,
no
nobody's going to trust you. Like, if you come back,
at all.
everybody, as far as you know, everybody either thinks you're dead or you have no allies. So it's like, that's why I'm wondering if he's going to be able to do something where, like I said, it just influence it, not so much tell anybody, but just like influence certain events to be like, okay, we got to bring the Avengers together. We got to start a new Avengers team or something like that. Just so that way that because right now, I mean, the Avengers have no reason to form because there's no big threat.
There's nothing. I mean, they shouldn't form. Like,
because they're not strong enough.
Please. But I mean, even with Thanos, like, Hawk had to come through Doctor Strange's whole lab for them to like finally wake up. Like, Tony Stark have these theories and thoughts the whole time. Like, it's okay, alien invasion is coming. It took Hawk to get beat up for them to like really take it serious. So I can imagine if Loki has to convince people how hard he's gonna have to work.
To backpack off what you said, Damien, could Loki like potentially like fix things? For what I think not like I guess a little more clarity on like my theory is that I think Kang might even put Loki in a timeline where he runs the TVA. The original offer that was offered by He Who Remains. I'm gonna put you in a time where you run a TVA and you got the backup, you got everything that you need to control time. All you have to do is not interfere with me.
Okay, I see.
So I can see him fighting them, and he thinks he won, but he's put in a timeline where he is the leader.
No,
and he has no choice but to bring them all together and realize that they are put there because of the doing of another person, not because that. He wanted to be in charge.
Kind of like how like Mobius remembers his past life. Like, like Loki's stuck in that same cycle.
Like I don't remember when I got here.
Like I've just been as long as I can remember. I've just been the leader.
And then the whole time everybody's like, well, he's the big boss. Like when they see him, they're gonna look at him like, yo, like Loki's here. Like he is the head of the TVA. But I think the moment where Sylvie stabs He Who Remains, and the moment before that is just so powerful in that. If Sylvie is not as like she might have the biggest storyline, but I don't think she's gonna be involved at all in anything that has to do with like the post-credit scene. Like you were saying, like if they had a post-credit scene with like a huge hero or something like that, or huge reveal, I just don't think she's gonna be as interested now because she kind of proved that she's clearly still on the dark side. She's still clearly selfish. So unless they do something where they can repair her character and Loki forgives her, which I don't think is in his body at the moment, I don't think he's willing to do that just yet. That's where I really like kind of like you said, they got to close some things up with her for sure. That's the main thing they got to close up. Is she really satisfied with what she did? Does she have any regret? Is it her plan to get back to Loki? Is there a plan to just run, control time? Because that was the offer that he gave her. And like if you kill me or whatever, like the deal was that if you do what I need you to do, then you got a TVA. So they have to definitely close up. Like I said, her Ravonna Renslayer's story and Sylvie's story, which I don't think they're going to be huge. I don't think going into season 3. Obviously, it's still a Loki show, but I do think that's one of the main things.
I need a Miss Minutes spin-off.
And Miss Minutes is like the big character, and she has a big moment in that trailer. I think she's like.
I almost kind of wonder.
She's like fighting. I think.
I almost kind of wonder if she's going to be the leader of the TVA in this new one because Ravonna left.
That'll be cool because they were trying to say that she is the all-knowing person. Like she knows everything that's going to happen before it happens, and the fact that the way she's presented is like she's not technically a live feed. Yeah, she just pops up in the people's perspective, and it's not really like she's a person. Everybody doesn't recognize her there. She just pops up in you, like it's your perspective. So I think that's a cool thing that they have going on. But anything else you guys got to add?
I think we're good.
All right, Damon, close the show for us. Let's
I got you.
Man.
All right. So this week, I'm gonna go ahead. This is anybody out there who's grinding, who's trying to make it in somewhere, whether it be a sport, content creator, anything like that. It's days that I stream don't have the most viewers, or if you're chasing a sport, you might be a bench player or a role player, or you might not even make a team. Everybody's path is different. As cliche as it sounds, everybody's path is different. You need to chase and grind for your success and your path. You cannot look at anybody else's path or story and say, oh, okay, I want this. You need to go get how you need to get it. It's so many different ways in life to chase your dream. You do not need to be successful in a week. You do not need to be successful in a month. You have to work at it every day. If you get one view that day, one subscriber, one follower that day, that's a success. Mm-hmm. Like, people take that for granted. That's a success. You make one person a day with content, that's a success. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, just keep pushing, keep grinding. If you think you're better yesterday, whether you're grinding basketball, volleyball, soccer, if you're better today than you were yesterday, that's a success. So, just don't rush success. Let it take its time. Let it take its course. And one day you're going to make it there. If you don't believe it, then who will? Like, why should anybody believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? Mm-hmm. So for sure. That's my message.
That's a good one.
That's a fact. Take your time, but don't let it pass you by,
Mm-hmm.
There's people that I know that, start stuff and stuff. Like, we're human. We always do that. It's always stuff that we want to do, we can't do. But for me personally, when I look at this as this is, like, I look at, like, I gotta have Damon back. I gotta have Damon back. I have Marrentos back. I gotta have every guest that comes in here. I gotta have them. I gotta keep my word to them. Like, that's what's important to me. So if you got, whether you got 300 followers, 300,000 followers, you got you're in a position where people relying on you. People expect something out of you, and that's all that matters. Because if you going based off numbers and you're like, only got 3 viewers today, but you ain't have 3 viewers a month ago. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the numbers, don't do it for the numbers, do it for the love. When you do it for the love, you don't got to work another day in your life. This is my free time. I'm around people, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about stuff, but this is my free time. This is my hobby. This is something I love to do. I talk about my podcast to everybody that wants to hear it. But if you're out here and you're half-assing it and you're halfway doing it, just quit now. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your time if you're not gonna give 100% and appreciate the little things, every little thing, every little reaction, every little like, every little share. Everything matters. It's one small thing to you is a big thing to somebody else.
Yep. And you gotta have a passion for it. You can't just, if I sat here every time I streamed and said, "Yo, check out my stream," like, I want people to genuinely mess with my content, like genuinely like what I'm doing. I want to genuinely have passion for what I want to do. I do not want to get up and say, okay, I need to hit 10,000 followers so I can start making money. Like, just start automatically thinking about money, business, stuff like that. Like, I want to genuinely have fun and love the things that I do. Because if you don't, your life is going to be miserable. Like, your life's going to be
That's a big thing when I tell people that we do the podcast, where it's like, well, why do you guys do it? Like, we just have fun doing it.
Yeah, we basically, like, what y'all don't understand is, like, this is basically a regular Xbox party. Like, or a regular Discord call.
It's just in person.
It's an hour and a half Xbox party.
Like, that's, like, it's basically, like, it's so easy to get on here and do. Like, we don't come on here dragging every day, like, oh, we got to talk about this. Like, this is what we usually talk about almost every day. So, it's not hard to do a podcast when you talk about the stuff.
It's a hobby, man. It's just something that I say we take time out of our week every week to work on it and make sure it gets better every week. And it's just a fun thing to do. Like I said, we just come in here and we just shoot the shit, and that's just what it is.
Yeah, the journey is everything. I would never want to be robbed of the journey.
No.
I love it. I love the grind. Literally 2 months ago, we were recording off my phone on a tripod, 2 chairs, coffee table, and nothing in the background. Now we got the Virtuosos logo, all these Funko Pops, big head Thanos.
We're growing.
Everything matters.
I think the journey's better than like almost being at the top.
Exactly.
Like, the journey, you learn so much about yourself, like, as a character, stuff like that. So,
for sure.
I think the journey is definitely worth it. It's definitely gonna be fun.
So thanks, you guys, for joining us. Take something from today. Learn from it. One day at a time. We'll also see you guys next week for the Loki React episode. It's going to be huge for us. I want you guys to join us. Thank you guys so much once again, and we'll see you guys next week.
Are we doing that?